It's almost the end of the year, which is brilliant for real proper games journalists like me, because that means we can just pick 10 games at random and put them in some sort of order and then say we liked them. And then we get a paycheck at the end of the day. Isn't that brilliant? Anyway, sit down and shut up, because I'm going to tell you my top 10 games of 2013, because it's almost the end of 2013, and I've got to tell you what my top 10 games are because of a reason. You'll like it. Shut up and watch. Shh. Daddy's going to look after you now. Shh. Show your daddy.
This is the final battle.
If you want to experience next gen and have a real next gen experience, Rise Son of Rome is the nextest gen of all of the next gen games. Rise Son of Rome is a great game because you can hit a man with a sword, which you couldn't do in previous game generations. Only thanks to the power of the cloud and next-gen technology can Rise Son of Rome have archers shoot a man with your wood and metal guns that you pull a string on, and you shout that at your Kinect and that makes it happen. Rise Son of Rome also has microtransactions, which is also a next-gen feature that is going to be in every bloody game. So we might as well sit down and get used to it and not complain about it, right? Because that's what's happening. Get over it. Rise Son of Rome, it's the next-gen experience.
This is the final battle.
One of the most critically acclaimed games of all time, and with good reason, Gone Home, is a game that smart people understand. It tells an interesting story, a story you just don't see in video games anymore. A story about Southern American countries coming together and taking over the United States. You play as a man with a gun, and you go around shooting all of these people. There is a fantastic online mode where you shoot more people, and sometimes the people shoot you. There's a whole lot of shooting going on. It sold so many copies, it's an absolute powerhouse of a series, it's going to become a major franchise, and also lesbians.
This is the final battle.
The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds is like a link to the past, but different just a little bit. That's what makes it so fantastic, because I remember playing A Link to the Past, you see. And now I play A Link Between Worlds, which is a bit like A Link to the Past, which makes it even better than any other game I've ever played, apart from the games that come after this one, obviously. A Legend of Zelda: The Link Between Your World is a really good game. It's on the Nintendo 3DS. Go and play it and look at the graphics and say, those are quite good. I remember this on the SNES, and now it's different.
This is the final battle.
The legendary Zelda: A Link of Worlds is one of the greatest games ever played. Do you remember A Link to the Past? It's a bit like that. You wake up in a house, and you go out of the house, and you go into a castle and stab it with your sword, and you have a great time. There's a rabbit that sells you a bow and arrow, and you can use that bow and arrow to fire the arrows from the bow. The Legend of Zelda: The Links. Play it now.
This is the final battle.
The Blemsley Zelda is so good. I played it on my Game Boy. It's like a Link and Pasps, and you play that on a SNES and fight with your Game Boy Ganondorf. Gotta fight the Ganondorf and with a bow and arrow. Fight them with it. Limp and Pasps.
This is the final battle.
Here's where I mention some game you probably haven't heard of, or if you have, you feel really smug and superior that you have heard of it, while all those proles that only play Grand Theft Auto 5, idiots, have never heard of it. Just pick whatever one that you know. I obviously don't know the ones you know, because I've never heard of it, and I wouldn't point out the ones I know because you've probably never heard of it. Some indie shit that I've added for credibility. One of the greatest games of 2013.
This is the final battle.
To be honest, I've only put The Last of Us down because if I don't, people will be upset. So here's The Last of Us put in, just because it's The Last of Us.
This is the final battle.
Robots punching Godzillas. What could be better than that? Pacific Rim is one of the most explosive titles of 2013. It features punching, it features shouting, it features that guy from the Always Sunny Philadelphias. It was directed by Guillermo, and the man goes in the robot, and then there's that girl who is so adorable, we like her, and also Ron Perlman from the Fallout series of games. Pacific Rim, directed by... you will enjoy it.
This is the final battle.
The famed movie critic Roger Ebert once said that video games are not, and could never be, art. He didn't play Val Kilmer. The one title argument that proves video games are an artistic medium deserving of the same respect and credibility of any other form of human expression. This is a game that made me question who I was. This is a game that made me understand the nature of what it means to be the person that I am being right now when I mean it. Val Kilmer, grease up your palms, grab a controller, and waggle him about a bit.
This is the final battle.
Now, I don't normally like to pick a really popular mainstream game as my game of the year, because I am a game journalist and know a lot more about games than you sad proles who just play all the mainstream shit. However, I have to confess that one of the best games this year is also one of the most popular, and in fact, this is the best game of 2013, Hating BioShock Infinite, an interactive experience that has brought us all together, that everybody has found as lovable as it is satisfactory. Whether you want to slag off the boring gunplay, whether you want to say that the story made no sense and relies on old tropes that good sci-fi writers don't do, whether you claim the game is racist, or whether you just don't like Ken Levine's face, BioShock Infinite and the hatred thereof has something for all of us. It truly is a deconstruction of the human condition. This is a game that steps forth and says we can all be united in our mutual hatred for something that almost a year ago everybody loved. Emergent gameplay is something we just don't see in most mainstream titles. This is basically an experience with endless possibilities. Hating BioShock Infinite is something you can do for months and months and months and blog posts on end. So by all means, get into it. If you haven't started hating BioShock Infinite yet, god damn it, you owe it to yourself to get involved. Start hating it today and enjoy the most compelling video game experience of 2013.